Okay, so this is what we're going to make today. I had quite a few people after I did the last video on making envelopes for your cards. I had quite a few people that said, I don't know how to make one for a long card. And no, you can't make one the same way for the long cards. So I'm going to show you how to make the envelopes for the long cards. This card is 4.5 by 8. So I have just cut some flowers for the front. It's kind of a simple card. I put a little bow and a little piece of ribbon down here at the bottom. Put some bling on there and stamped fabulous, and that's it. That's a simple card, but it's very, very cute. So I'm going to show you how to get the measurements of your card and then get the measurements for your paper to make your envelope. So here is our envelope right there. And this card will slide right down in there with no trouble, and it will close up. So there is your envelope and your card. Now, the first part of my video, my microphone was not on. So the first part of the video will be a voiceover, but after we get to the envelope, then I realize that my microphone is not on. I turn it on and then we go from there. All right, let's get into making these two projects. So you're going to start off with a piece of paper that is 8 by 8. Now I'm making mine an uneven card, so I want the bottom to be a little bit longer than the top, so I'm scoring mine at 3.5. If you want yours to be even, then you just need to score it at 4, and then it would be a 4 by 8 card, where mine is a 4.5 by 8 card. So I've gone ahead and scored mine, and so now we're ready. So all I'm telling you here is the same thing, where I scored it. And remember, all of these measurements and everything will be over on my blog. So if this is a little bit confusing to you, the way I'm having to do it right now, just go over to my blog and you'll see all the measurements. I hate this, but I didn't want to have to redo this card. So. Okay, so this piece of paper is 3.5 by 8, and all I did was just use my little Stamp It Up punch. I think I'll show it to you here in a second. And I just punched some little scallops on the edges, and I am going to put this down with just some regular adhesive and put it on the top and let it stick out just a tiny bit. That's the punch right there. And I don't know if Stamp It Up still has it, but I'm sure you've got some kind of scallop punch. You could use those little swirly scissors that most everybody still has in their stash somewhere. And I turned this card around and around trying to get this top piece on there. I do not know why. It just didn't cooperate with me. So I'm putting it just so that just a tiny bit will show from underneath there. And I'll press it down now. And there is our little decorative piece on the end. I like how that looks with that offset there. For a long card, a lot of times a little offset makes it look a lot better. And then I'm putting this piece of white in there. And the white piece is, let me go ahead and measure here. The white piece is cut at 4 by 7.5. So that piece I'm going to put down, and that's just for somebody to do their writing on, put their sentiments on, whatever you want to do on the inside, since our base card is a tan color. Okay, now I have just used some of my dies, and I have just die cut some flowers in different sizes. I cut 4 flowers and then 2 little branches. No, I cut 5 flowers because I've got a little tiny white flower in the center of that one right there that I'm working on now. But I just cut those flowers, and I'm just going to arrange those on the front. Now some of these you'll see me put flat down, and then some of them I'm going to pop up. So this blue one, I'm putting it flat down, and that's the blue paper that matches that scallop that I have down there. And then I think the yellow one and the pink ones I pop up on a pop dot. Yeah, there's my pop dots. So I pop those up just one little time, and I kind of tuck them in around there. That just kind of makes it look like a little flower bouquet. Now if you don't have dies that are flowers, you got punches that are flowers, or you can cut them on your Cricut, or you can just freehand cut them, draw them out and cut them any way that you want to do that. Or you can put something else on the front of this. You don't have to do flowers like I did. I just thought flowers would be something different because I usually put butterflies and different things like that on the front of my cards. So I thought that would be cute to do some flowers. So we're going to just continue and put the flowers on there. I'm going to tuck this one in just a little bit. Lifting that blue one up and tucking that one in. And then I'll tuck my little branches on either side of that. And once I get the branches in there, then I will go back with my Nuvo glitter pen and I'll put glitter on all of them. And it doesn't really show in the video here, but it shows in real life. Once it dries, it shows really well. Alright, now I have reached for some bling because I'm going to put some bling in the center of these flowers. So I put, this is kind of an iridescent, opaque, maybe white. And then I put a couple of little white ones on the small flowers. And then I just scatter a couple out. On the front of the card is where I put some different ones you'll see in just a second. I think I put like 3 down at the bottom right corner and then 3 up at the top above the flowers. So you'll see those in just a minute. You know, it's harder than you think doing a voiceover. I don't know how all those girls do it that do voiceovers all the time. They just record their video and then do voiceovers. I'm not good at that. I like to talk as I'm doing the project. It's a lot easier than me having to go back and look at a video and tell what I'm doing. But hopefully you guys are getting the gist of this. I lost that one. That's why I was looking at my hands. I lost that particular little pearl. It went flying somewhere. I don't know where. But these are just some teeny tiny little pearls. So I'm probably just going to chit chat in this since I hate stopping it and starting it all the time. So I'm probably just going to chit chat with you guys in the voiceover. So here's where I just put some on the card front, and I put one large one and 2 little ones down there in the bottom corner, and then the same thing up in the top. That just kind of brings the eye all the way across the card and not just stopping it on those flowers. And you may have some dead space in here too, because I may just not talk and let you see the card, let you see what I'm doing. That one went flying too, didn't it? Those are a little bit hard to pick up sometimes, those teeny tiny ones. And I didn't even get my little tool out, my little pickup tool for those. So now I have reached for my Nuvo, and this is just a Nuvo clear, I do believe. Let me look and make sure. Yes, this is a Nuvo glitter gloss pen, and it is in clear. And I am just going over all the flowers, and then I actually go over the leaves too. And the Nuvo doesn't show while it's wet. It just looks like it's just, you just wet the paper. But after it dries, you'll see all the glitter on there. Okay, this is an afterthought. I should have done this before I put all of the embellishments on the card, but I didn't. So I wanted to stamp something right there. I felt like just a black stamped sentiment would look good there. So I drug out my Gabby's Word stamp set from 49 in Market, and I just pulled off the Fabulous, and that's what I'm going to stamp there. And I'm going to use that little stamp positioner, and I don't have any more of these, but May does. I looked on her site yesterday, and if you purchase through the link that I leave below on her site, then she will make money off the sale, and then I make a few cents off of this sale as well, because I'm an affiliate for her store. So a lot of things I don't carry anymore. I don't carry as much as she does, because we've kind of cut back on some of our things. So you can, if I leave a link for her, that's because I know that she has it. I've already looked and she has it, and you can purchase it from her. She makes the money off the sale, and I make a few cents off of the affiliate link. So it actually turned out pretty good, even though I did an afterthought here. So that is the front of our card. I think that is really cute. It's simple, but it's cute. I like that tan background on the card base there. And that was some of the VersaFine ink that I used. So what we're going to do for this white place right here is I'm going to lift this up A little glue under there. I've got a piece of ribbon that's cut just a little bit longer than that piece. I'm going to glue it right down close to the bottom. I just want a tiny bit of that white showing below that ribbon, and then just a little bit showing at the top. So we're going to lift this side up, do the same thing. I'm just going to tuck it up under there. And yes, I could have wrapped this before I put all this together, but you know how I do? My thing is afterthought. So a lot of times I don't think about what I'm going to do until after I get the other stuff done. So a lot of my work is afterthought. I don't make these beforehand, before I film. I make these as I film. So you're seeing the first time when I do a video. Every now and then I will practice a little bit on something else if it's something that's going to be kind of difficult. But most all of the time my videos are first right here. Alright, then I just tied a tiny little bow, and we're going to put that tiny little bow right there. And I'm going to use some of this glue, some art glitter glue, just to put that down, and I'm going to have to hold it just a second. While I hold that, I'm going to put another little dollop of glue right there, because that wasn't glued well. Alright, we're going to lay the card aside. Now this card ended up being 4.5 by 8, so it's a long card. So what I did, now to do a long card envelope, you can't do it the standard way, like I showed you where you fold it up this way and all that, because it just won't work. You're going to have to do a long card envelope. So what you want to do is, for this one, what I have done is cut a piece of paper that is 9.5. So it is, this is 8, so it is 1.5 inches longer than this. So make sure that it's about 1.5 inches longer, especially if you've got some dimension on your card. So, oops, my little bow fell off. So find the length of your card and add 1.5 inches on that. I may have to put that on with something else. We're going to leave it right now. So then we're going to score on the 9.5 inch side. We're going to score at 1/2 inch and then at 9. Alright, let me make sure I got those straight. Something didn't look straight. 9. Okay, and I'm just using a paper that's got some little fleeks on it. I don't know if you can see that. Then you're going to turn it the other way. Alright, so for the front side of the envelope, you're going to score at 4.5. Then you want to go up. You want to make sure that that back side of the envelope is bigger than your card. So from that line right there all the way up. So I know I need to score at 9.5 because I want to leave some for that flap to come over. So if you score at 4.5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 9.5 would be my score line. That's going to give me a little flap. Now I know that may be confusing to you, but the first thing that you do is take the height of your card and double that. So the height of my card is 4.5. So 2 times 4.5 is 9 inches. Now for that 9, you need to add some for the flap. So 9, 10, 11. 2 more inches for your flap and for some extra room. So just take 4.5, 4.5 is 9, and add 2 inches, 10, 11, to get the length of your paper this way. So here is the 9.5 this way, and that's what we did here, is we took this card, which is 8 inches, and we added 1.5 inches onto it. Okay. Alright, so that's our scoring, and I'll have all of this written down over on the blog so that you can go over and read it. I know listening to me it's probably a little bit confusing, but if you go over there and read it as you're watching the video, you'll be able to understand exactly how it goes. All right. So these little pieces right down here, we need to cut those off. We don't need those. So let's just cut those right up on that score line. And at the score line that goes across, I'm just going to angle in like that. I'm going to cut that a little bit cleaner right there. If my hand will stop shaking. Alright, and then over here, you're going to do the same thing. And then we just need to angle that in. And then up here on the flap that comes over, you don't need these pieces either. So we're going to cut those off. And then you're just going to angle that just like we did that other part right there. Cut down on that score line. When you get to that score line that goes across, just angle it out just like that. So that is what you have right now. It looks like an envelope, doesn't it? These are going to fold in. So let me get my bone folder and reinforce these. We want that to lay down really well. And then this is going to be your flap, so we want to enforce that. And then what I want to do is I want to round these corners on my flap because I want it to look more like an envelope. So what I'm going to do is use my corner rounder here, and I'm going to use the 1/2 inch, and I'm just going to round those corners like that. Now you want to put some glue down through here. Now don't go all the way to the top right here because a little of that is going to show, just a small amount. And then just bring your envelope up, match your corners, or match the edges I should say, and press it down. And there is your envelope. Simple as can be. And see, you've got that little angle there. Makes it look more like an envelope. Let's see if this is stuck yet. Maybe. Now we can put this down in here. We'll slide right down in there, and then that will close up. So there is our envelope for our card. 4.5 by 8 card, and there's your envelope. Okay? Alright guys, I hope you enjoyed this. If you did, please give us a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button, and don't forget to click that little bell when that little bell pops up so that you'll be notified when we put up new videos. And also the link below will take you over to my blog where all of these written instructions and measurements for this will be. We'll talk to you guys later. Bye-bye.